In this video, we're going to look at 3 different ways percent problems can be asked and how we can solve them. A percent problem always has 2 parts. It has a part and it has a whole. So the whole is equal to 100%. When we see the word of, so of something, it represents the total or 100%. So as soon as we see, in this case, of 30, I know that 30 is my total. So we're going to start by making a ratio table. And one side is going to be your number and one side is going to be your percent. It does not matter which side you do that in. So I know that I have of 30. So 30 is my number and that represents 100%. And I want to get to 40%. So to me, the easiest thing to do is to make your percent down to 10%. So 10% of 30 is 3. And now I want to go to 40%. So I can scale this up to 40 by multiplying by 4. And I can multiply 3 by 4. And I am going to get 12. So 40% of 30 is 12. Here is the second type of problem. 10 is 25% of blank. So since I have my of blank, I know I'm missing the total. So I do not know what 100% is. So I'm going to start my ratio table and it says that 10 is 25%. So 10 is 25%. And I want to get this to 100%. So again, I have a couple options. I can scale 25 right to 100. Or if I wanted to, I could double this to get to 50. So then this side doubles and goes to 20. And if I double this again, I'm at 100 and this would be at 40. So I know that 10 is 25% of 40. This is the third and final type of problem that you can get with percents. So it says 24 is blank percent of 60. So in this case, I don't know the percentage, but I do know of 60. So this is my total because it says of 60. So when I start my ratio table, here is my number, here is my percent. So we know 60 is 100%, and I want to make 60 become 24. So first thing, again, 10% is always the easiest thing to go to. So you want to go to those benchmarks. So 50%, 10%. So 6 is 10%. And then I know that I can take 6 and I can multiply by 4 to get to 24. So 10 times 4 is 40. So 24 is 40% of 60. Any of these 3 types of problems can be made into a word problem. So let's take a look at this one. The pie chart above shows the distribution of students' favorite pets. If 12 students chose birds as their favorite pets, approximately how many students chose cats as their favorite pet? So again, I'm going to start with a ratio table. This will be my number and this will be my percent. And let's go back to the word problem. If 12 students chose birds as their favorite pets, how many students chose cats? So let's take a look at birds. So birds is 5%. So under percent, I'm going to put the 5. And I know that 12 students chose birds. So 12 is 5%. I want to find the cats at 30%. So I want to make my percents be 30. So I can multiply 5 times 6, which means I can do the same thing on the other side. So 12 times 6 is 72, and that means that there are 72 cats if 30% of the total animals are cats. Let's say the question was slightly different. What if instead of saying how many students chose cats, what if they just said how many total students were represented? So we would still, again, I would start with a ratio table with my number and my percent, and I still have to start with my given information. So 12 students chose birds. So again, I'm going to go back to, I know that 5% is 12, and I would want to find my total, which is 100%. So I want to scale this up to 100. So I have a couple options here. One of the easiest, I think, for me would be multiply that by 2 to get to 10%. So this side would also scale up by 2, so it's 24. And then if we multiply this by another 10, we would get to 100%. So same thing on the other side, and it would be 240. So a little tweak of the question, we still use the same information, but we can find a different piece of information from it.